Hi, everybody. Welcome to North of MAGA. I'm your host, Pierre Shields. And today we're going to be taking a look at Belle, um, Belle of the Ranch. Belle, I'm not riding in your coattails. I swear to you, I just find the stuff you talk about is just absolutely fantastic. So this one's a little bit older video, but I still love what she's talking about. So let's take a look.
Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again.
Hi, Belle.
So today, we're going to talk about Americans learning from Canada.
Mhm.
All of this talk from Trump about making Canada the 51st state may actually turn out to have some benefits. Apparently, it has led to some very important realizations. Let me read this message and we'll go from there. Hey, Belle, I have a question. I've been watching an interaction on Facebook, and there's a lot of economics questions in it. I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. It started by someone saying that Canada would be a bad state because it has the same population as California.
Canada would be a bad state, I think, because we're nasty, first of all. But please, Belle, I'm sorry. We'll move back a little bit. Thank you.
It has the same population as California, but half the GDP, which would make it a poor state, one of our poorest. This led to people asking how they can have health care and all of the social safety nets if they're so poor. And somebody was like, exactly. Can you?
I kind of think it depends on where our priorities are. We think that taking care of our neighbors is more important than another tomahawk. Let's take a look at what she.
You help me out with this. Absolutely, I got you. First, let's check the numbers. Canada's population is about 40 million. California's is about 39 million. So sure, that's close enough to the same for a Facebook argument.
That's close enough for a Facebook argument. That's great. Thank you, Belle.
Canada's GDP is 2.1 trillion and change. California's is 3.9 trillion. Again, not exactly twice, but close enough for Facebook. Remember, GDP, gross domestic product, is the final value of all the goods and services produced in a geographic region in a year. It's shorthand for how big the economy is. A better way to do this is just using something called per capita GDP. That just divides the GDP up among the population. It makes the numbers easier to follow. Canada's is about $53,300.
So 53,000, I'm assuming these are US dollars. 53,000 for our GDP per capita is relatively low. I wish it was higher. I'm hoping we're working at getting it higher. And I think with Carney and the deals that we're making, we probably are. I think that taking advantage of our resources and really adding value in Canada is important, and it's a great strategy. It should be higher for us, though.
Is about $53,300. California is about $105,000. Yes, Canada would be one of the poorest states in the Union. Only Mississippi would be below it. So, all of the math and general tone checks out. If you want to compare it to the US as a whole, the per capita GDP is $81,600. Canada's again is $53,300. So, why do Canadians have health care and 1,000 other social benefits Americans don't have? Why are Canadians happier? Those are really good questions.
That's funny what you're saying. According to statistics taken around the world regularly, Canadian citizens are some of the top, most content and happy people on the planet. I'm really not sure how they figure out how happy people are in a certain country. Interesting.
It's happier. Those are really good questions. It's almost like every time you were told the U.S. couldn't afford it, what they really meant was that the U.S. had other priorities than its people.
There it is. Twice the GDP. I don't have the numbers, but it'd be interesting for any Americans watching this to dig into how much is going for the military. And please stop with the, oh, because we're protecting Canadians. That's why it's so expensive. U.S. military has been the world police for years and years now because the American government wanted the American military to be the world police. I mean, and now they're trying to detach themselves from that. Come on. But definitely, it's kind of heartbreaking to hear that the GDP in Canada is this low. Sure, we can work on it. I mean, we have like a really highly educated population. We got great resources. What seems to screw us up all the time is politicians. Huh, that's funny. Let's back up a bit. Thanks, Belle. Oops.
Other priorities than its people. You'll have some people say that Canadians pay more in taxes.
Mm.
And this is already a number-heavy episode. But if you look at the per capita tax burdens, it really isn't too far apart, especially if you were also to look at the per capita healthcare expenses paid by people. It gets really weird when you look at U.S. government per capita spending on healthcare and compare it to Canada's. Even with a per capita GDP similar to Mississippi, Canadians certainly seem to get far better standard of living. The short version is that you are not a priority for the U.S. government. You can argue about why, but the plain numbers of it say the priority of the U.S. government is not you. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks, Belle. The proof that people are not a priority is your healthcare system. You have this extra layer of insurance that, it's just money going off to pay commissions for salespeople in the industry. Absolutely mind-blowing. And, I heard before the last election, people were saying, Trump, he's a businessman. He's be great. It's going to be great. He's going to drum up a business and so on. Businesses aren't there to take care of people. Businesses aren't there to make people happy. Businesses aren't there to make sure you get health care. A business is there to make money, as much money as it possibly can, by squeezing. There is no room for sentiment or for empathy. That's why a purely American system kind of worries me. There's no space for humanity. Anyway, it's just a thought. Thanks for watching. Go play outside.